Hello everyone, welcome to Yosei Mas's first video on getting everybody set up for what we will be doing for the rest of the video series here on this channel. We will be going over how to download and install VirtualBox, how to download the Ubuntu genome image for that VirtualBox, and lastly, installing that genome image into your VirtualBox. So let's begin with the very first step, installing the VirtualBox. You're going to want to open up any of your internet browsers that you may have, whether it's Google Chrome or Firefox, and navigate yourself towards the virtualbox.org, which is the website for it. Okay, from here, depending when you are watching this video, you might download a different version, but just make sure you download the most newest version. In this case, as of now, the most newest version is 5.0. Another thing to note, depending on what operating system you currently may have, you're going to have to download a different version. In this case, since we have Windows 10, we're going to be downloading the very first one, which is for Windows, right here. And if you have a Mac, which the operating system for that is OS X, you're going to want to download this one. But for this case, in our purposes for this video, download the one for Windows. So let's go ahead and click it there. Also, depending on how fast your internet connection is, this might take a moment or quite a few minutes. Just wait for it to download and let it do its thing. Okay, now it's finished downloading, so let's begin it and install it. So please click on the download link right there. Okay, the installation is actually pretty straightforward. There's nothing tricky about it, so that's pretty good much about it. So just go ahead and click on next. Here you have the options to create a shortcut on your desktop. Like if you want to, you can go ahead and do that. Go ahead and click next. So here now it's actually going to begin installing it, here's Chad to explain to you guys how VirtualBox works and how we will be using it for the purposes of our video.
Okay, so VirtualBox is a piece of software that allows you to install images of operating systems, which will allow you to run those operating systems on your computer through the software without having to install them on your hard drive.
Okay, thanks Chad for telling them how that works. So now it's finished installing, so go ahead and click on finish. This will actually prompt it up, as you can see here from checking this box here. Okay, now let's wait for it to open up. Well, I think it's actually right here down here. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. This is the VirtualBox manager. Don't worry too much about this as right now. We're actually gonna begin and move on to our second step, which is downloading the Ubuntu genome image. So open up a new tab and just search for Ubuntu genome. Okay. Depending on what results come up, just make sure you go to the ubuntugenome.org website, which is the official one. I'm going to hit and click on this one, download Ubuntu Genome. Okay, from here, navigate yourself towards the download section. Okay, we're already here. Okay, in this case, download the Ubuntu Genome 14.04 LTS. This is the one we're going to be using for the video. Okay. Now, scroll down to the section where you can see Get Ubuntu Genome and click on the download link here. This will send you to another website where you could actually download it. Okay, now let's go ahead and actually begin downloading it right here. Get Ubuntu Genome. Yeah, this one. Okay, one thing to note is depending on the bit version that you have on your PC, whether it's 32 or 64-bit, just make sure you download the most specific one that there is. So if you have 32-bit, go ahead and do the direct download for 32-bit. In our case, we have a 64-bit PC, so we're going to be downloading the 64-bit. So let's begin downloading it. Okay, so please be aware that this file is extremely large. We see that it's 955 megabytes, so that will really actually take a while. Okay, there, it's finished. Okay. Okay, so now Chad's gonna be taking over for the remainder of this video. He's gonna be going through the installation. So go ahead, Chad.
Okay, so for the installation of the virtual machine, we'll be going over to the VirtualBox. But before that, I'm gonna go over into the folder, into the downloads folder. And what I want to do is go into documents and create. So what I do when I have download virtual images is create a virtual machine images folder where I store the image for the virtual machine so that it's easier to access for the virtual machine. Um, so I suggest that you do that. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. Um, to create our new VirtualBox, we're going to have to go ahead and click on the new button over here. We're going to have to give it a name, so the type and version will be determined by the name you type in, but if you want to give it a different name, you can select the operating system and version by clicking on here. Let's go ahead and click next. So the memory size is how much RAM we're going to be giving our virtual machine. The more RAM you give it, the more programs you'll be able to run inside of it at a time. Okay, because the VirtualBox or virtual machine will be using up memory from your system, it is suggested that you do not run any programs on your computer while you're running this, or else you will experience some lag. Now we're going to create a virtual hard disk. This will be where we install the image and where we will be able to run the operating system from. Go ahead and click on next. We're going to select dynamically allocated. Dynamically allocated allows the hard drive to change size or increase in size whenever it needs more space. Let's see. And now we're going to select the size of the hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and put 16. And click create. Okay, now one of the things I do before I start up my virtual machines is go into the settings. What I like to do is go into systems and then the processor tab. I change the amount of processors that the virtual machine uses. This enables the virtual machine to run a little faster and load up faster. So now that we've got the settings set up, we can go ahead and click on start. This is going to start our virtual machine and start up the installation process. Okay, the first time that you open up a virtual machine, it's going to ask you to select the image. So we're going to go ahead and select the file from our documents folder. So now we'll go into documents. We're going to go into the virtual machine images folder and then select this the Ubuntu genome image. Now we're going to press start. Because this is a virtual machine and it's running an operating system inside of a piece of software in your computer, it will run a little slower than if it was installed directly on your computer. But this is completely normal. Okay. So once the virtual machine boots up, it's going to ask us if we want to install the Ubuntu Genome on it. So we're going to go ahead and install Ubuntu Genome. So these are some requirements that the computer asks for. You don't have to meet all of them, but it is suggested that you do. Okay, from here we'll click on continue. These are the different installation times. You can choose to erase the disk and install Genome on Genome. In our case, this is a virtual disk that we just created, so it won't have any impact on our system. You can also encrypt the new Genome installation for security. This allows you to encrypt the hard drive, or your virtual hard drive in this case. And there's different options, but for now we'll just click on install now. So we're going to go ahead and select continue. Okay, so select your time zone region and continue with the process. So right now it will just keep on asking us some information on our computer and location. So now we'll select a username. Let's see. What should we name the username, Joseph? Okay, now once you've entered all of that information, press continue. So now, after selecting your username and password, the installation process will begin. So this will take a while, as this is installing the operating system on your virtual hard drive. So just wait for now. Okay, we will be fast forwarding through this part of the video, so we'll see you in a bit. Once the installation is complete, we will restart the virtual machine to complete the installation process. So click on restart now. Okay, so we're going to wait up for a blue message to appear on the screen in blue text. So once this message appears, we can press enter. So the first time you boot up the virtual machine after installing the image, it will be a little slower than usual. So just give it a bit of time. So as you may notice, the window is kind of small. If we were to put it on full screen mode, or into the full screen, it shows up as this little tiny box. So what we're going to be doing right now after the virtual machine boots up is installing the guest edition CD image, which will allow us to resize the virtual machine and to put it into full screen mode. Okay, so once the virtual machine is booted up, you can go ahead and sign in using the password you chose earlier. Okay, so as it was said earlier, if you were to put your the VirtualBox into full screen, your virtual machine doesn't go into full screen. So to get that to work, we're going to insert the guest edition CD image. Okay, now what this is going to do is it's going to install a piece of software in the virtual machine. So it will ask for your authentication, which is the same password that you used to log in. So what this is doing is the Ubuntu Genome opened a terminal. So the terminal is a very powerful tool that is used in your computer. It allows you to install software onto your computer, or to move around the files, and to do many other things with your computer. At first it may look a bit strange, but as you use it more often, it becomes more natural and easier to use. Okay, now once that installation is complete, you can press enter to close the window. So before this installation takes effect, we will have to restart the virtual machine. So go over here and press on the power button and select restart. Now, after this restart, the virtual machine should be able to resize into a larger size to whatever shape or size that you put your VirtualBox window into. So, as you can see, as I resize this window, the virtual machine also resizes itself. So if we select full screen, it will resize itself onto the whole window. So we'll log in once again. Okay, so we're able to go into full screen within the VirtualBox window, but to really take advantage of this on our computer, we can go over to view and select full screen mode. Full screen mode will allow us to go into the whole screen on your computer, and will make the virtual machine almost unnoticeable. Another way to go into full screen mode is to press the host key plus the F key. The host key is automatically set to be the right control, and then plus the F key. So go ahead and select full screen mode. What this will do is put the virtual machine on the whole screen. So the first time it may be a little buggy, so you might have to do it again. So you can go ahead and click view in full screen mode, and go ahead and select it again. So now, as you can see, this goes up on a whole screen. which makes it appear as if it were installed on a computer. So you can click on, you can pretty much do anything you would do on a regular computer. Okay, so thank you for watching the first video or the setup tutorial for Yosemite on installing the VirtualBox, downloading the genome image, and installing it on a virtual machine. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. We will get back to you in a separate video on the channel. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.